where you are today and where you want to go. And I'm here to tell you, it just comes down to price. There's a price to pay to become somebody new. There's a price to pay for change. If you don't make it, it's on you. There's nobody else to blame. Everything is your fault. Everything. The good stuff in your life, that's on you. You did that. You either put yourself in a position to deserve it, to be around people that want to help, to take care of you. Luck came by, you were able to capitalize on it. But will you have the fare to get on? And maybe that's it. Maybe you just got really lucky. But you had the fare to get on the bus, and that's on you. So you should be very proud of the things that you have in your life. But all the things in your life that aren't to your satisfaction, those are all your fault. But I don't want to do that, because I choose not to ever be a victim. I cannot choose whether I'm victimized, but I have the ability to say I will never be a victim, because there's always something you can do differently. There is always something you can do differently. And once you understand that you can always make a different choice and get a different reaction, and that's the power in your life, that's the power that you have, is no matter what's going on, you can choose to think differently, believe differently, see differently. All of those things are a choice. Read Man's Search for Meaning.
When we look at the leading sales professions of the world, when we look at the best leaders without title, when we look at the masters of HR, the masters of R&D, we look at the best business people, we say she's gifted, she's smarter than me, she's better with people than me, she just somehow knows more than me, she's got a better education, she had an easier background, she got lucky. You've heard the cliche because it's true, the harder I work, the luckier I get. I'm here today. I'm an ordinary person, but I focused on my craft. I had a burning desire to be excellent. I love what I do. What I do, this leadership message, sharing in my books and speaking is my oxygen, it's my DNA. 4 in the morning I get up and I'm working in my craft because I love it. I love it. I think every single one of us can be a genius quicker than you think. Quicker than you think. But if you focus on all things, then to be all things to all people, you can never really get to mastery or specialty. Life is a mirror, and life gives us not what we want. Life gives us who we are. And it's amazing what happens as you walk out in the world and as you begin to take responsibility for leading without title, for adding more value, for inspiring people more, for innovating where you're planted, for building relationships, for being the nicest person that you know. What begins to happen through an organization and through your life? Give the extra 1%. Leadership doesn't happen when things are easy. Leadership is about how you show up when everyone else feels like going home at the end of the day. Leadership occurs on the extra mile. Leadership occurs when everyone has laughed at your idea. Leadership occurs when you feel like giving up and you reach into yourself and you pull out the final 1%. He said what made Lance Armstrong great was everyone else gave up at the end, but he kept that final 1% in reserve. And when everyone else was exhausted and everyone else felt like giving up, Lance Armstrong reached deep within, and that final 1% is what made him world class.
Success is like a quiet daily set of tasks. Real small. Real small. It's like that quiet walk to the gym, like some empty-ass gym late at night, over and over and over. Or as I sit there studying other great people, and then comparing it with what I'm doing and looking at it, over and over and over. Doing 20 minutes of quiet meditation a day, over and over and over. Making the choice to eat foods that enhance my brain neurotransmitters, over and over and over. It's very quiet. It's a very quiet process where you're just drawing your state from within yourself, doing these like simple little tasks, but finding love in those simple little tasks. It's not this big rah-rah speech where you do this one thing and something big happens.
You must be patient, persistent, and positive no matter what. Any number of things can happen to interrupt your flow. It's okay. Don't take it personal. Just acknowledge what's going on. It's called life, and keep on working on your dream. Continue to keep on knocking, because this is your life. This is what you love. This is your passion. Step back. Don't judge it. If you judge it, judge not yet unless ye be judged. Why? Because when you judge it, you invest emotion in it, and that emotion could be anger. And guess what? That hurts you. That doesn't hurt anybody else. So don't allow people to determine how you are going to respond to them or circumstances. Learn to look at it. You've got to be willing to change your ways. Your life is working. If you don't like what you have produced, you're a director, you are the star, you wrote this script, you produced this. Whatever it is, if it's a hit, you produced it. If it's a flop, you produced it. Take ownership of it and decide to go back to the drawing board and rewrite the script that you are the star of. You have the power to do that. On this day, you can declare that I'm going to change. As you look back on your life, you can decide that I don't like what I produced here, and I want higher ground. I want to begin to experience more love. I want to have more adventure in my life. I want something that gives my life a sense of meaning.
Struggle is guaranteed. The struggle is guaranteed. The success is not. And like the thing that I beg you guys is to have the guts to fail at something that you love. And when you are on the mud, on your face, and people are laughing, the I told you so's are coming out, that you remember one simple fact. You loved what you were doing, and you left it out on the field. What the fuck else is there? What more can you ask of yourself than to really try? That's the life to live. That's the life. Like to say, I care about this, it matters, it gives me purpose, I'm gonna fight for this. This is a group of people I wanna serve. And I'm going to go all the way out every day. And look, you're not going to hit it every day. There's going to be days where you're off. There's going to be days where you're weak. But if that day, instead of bullshitting yourself, instead of saying I wasn't weak today, what are you talking about? If that day you fucking own it, and you say, yeah, I was weak today, and I'm not going to be weak tomorrow, but I'm not afraid to face that. I'm not afraid to accept that I'm not perfect. I'm not afraid to look in the mirror and say today was a bad day, that I didn't make myself proud today. But that shouldn't diminish who you are. It shouldn't diminish your view of yourself. Why? Because it wouldn't serve you. Because if you beat yourself up today, you make it harder for you to be rad tomorrow.
You have a choice to either hit the snooze button and go back to sleep in your nice, warm, fluffy, cozy bed, or open your eyes and get the f*** out of bed. That's a choice that takes discipline. It all starts that first second. How you start your day and that decision that you make in that instant isn't as small as just getting up of bed or not. It's a decision that can shape the rest of your fucking life. I don't think greatness is something you're born with. It's something that truly exists in everyone. I look at it as a superpower we all have. But unless we learn the right way to get it by going through all of the hard work, we simply ain't worthy of it. You have greatness inside you. What you do with it is down to you. Most of the time you're going to feel like there's no way out, that you can't do it. But listen to me when I say there is always hope. But you have to take control. Because the minute you tell yourself that you control this is the minute you can start to change it. The real reason you ain't doing the that you should be doing is because subconsciously you're afraid to fail. You're afraid you won't get it. You're afraid they'll say no. You're afraid you'll get hurt. Face your fears. Once you admit this simple truth, you'll start finding it a lot easier to deal with.
It's a game that has to be seen in total. It's not a game where you can take a snapshot. And this is like what I want you guys to understand. In any one moment, I've looked like a fool so many fucking times I can't count. But when I look at my life in 10-year chunks, I'm freaked out by what I've accomplished. Success is going from failure to failure to failure without a loss of enthusiasm. It doesn't matter if you win, that's not success. The success is going from the failure to the failure to the failure and still being excited to show up. So I'm okay if I don't become the ultimate version of what I could become, but I won't tolerate not trying.
There's a price to pay to
become somebody new. There's a price to pay for change. If you don't make it, it's on you. There's nobody else to blame. Everything is your fault. I cannot choose whether I'm victimized, but I have the ability to say I will never be a victim. Because there's always something you can do differently.